introduced to Quakerism by my wife, who was attending my New Friends meeting, and I gradually found my way to seeing myself as a friend.
I was going through a period in my life where I was living with a very challenging person who had pretty much uncontrolled bipolar condition, and coming to Quaker meeting was a place that I could just relax in the silence.
The reputation of Quakers, that they walk the walk, talk the talk. I remember them from the early days of the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. So I had that in the back of my mind. And then I work here in Old Town, so I went by every day, and the building I found beautiful. It's a brand new building, but it's simple and has lots of windows, and it just called to me.
A friend of mine was church shopping, and she said, "Let's go to the Quakers," and I said, "Okay." And then after 2 weeks she said, "I think I don't like sitting in silence," and I said, "I think I do," and then I just kept coming.
I had a massive heart attack 22 years ago. Rushed to the hospital. I was not expected to survive. And a nun came to the hospital room to ask me what my religion was. And the first time those words ever came out of my mouth was when I said, "I'm a Quaker." And I guess I had made up my mind enthusiastically because they thought I was going to die that night. I didn't, of course. But I then began attending meeting.
I was doing some very deep work around a significant event in my life, and out of that came some experiences that were very light-filled and powerful, and I couldn't explain them any other way except for some kind of divine nature, and I wanted to explore them, but I didn't want to be told what they meant. I didn't want to be told what to believe. I wanted to let it be my own thing. And my friend's mom, who's an Episcopalian deacon, said to me, "Try the Quakers."
I came to the Quakers after leaving a mainline Protestant church that was not accepting of LGBTQ people. I looked for a place that did not discriminate, even as to who could receive communion. I wanted to find a community where I could pursue my own individual journey without having to espouse a certain creed developed by others. I wanted to follow my own journey, my inner guidance toward truth, with the support and enrichment of other community members.
When our daughter Emma was born, Jen wanted Jen wanted to return to church community, church family, and I was, not particularly interested in being a part of Christendom, and so we started calling around, and people suggested we try Friends because there's not many churches that would know anything about anarchism, let alone be able to tolerate it, other than potentially Friends. So it was a good fit.
My previous tradition, there was someone standing in front of you telling you what you should believe, and most of the time I disagreed with that person. And at Quaker, there's no one standing in authority to tell you what to think or to judge or what you think.
In about 1985, a friend who was attending Red Cedar Friends meetings suggested I come to help me know how to meditate, and I found community.
I'm a birthright friend, so I've been a Quaker since I remember anything. My family was Quaker, and my grandparents were. Whenever we went to my grandparents' house, my father would still speak in Quaker plain speak. How is thee, mother? And so I grew up in that kind of a culture, and so for me, it's really just been part of my life from the beginning.
I applied for a job with the American Friends Service Committee, and while I was there being interviewed, I'd never heard of Quakers, but while I was there being interviewed, I was so taken by their integrity and presence, with the carefulness and attentiveness with which they listened to me, and the importance they had of finding the right match for this job they were filling, that I came away going, who are these people? And I remember flying on the flight back to Lansing thinking, I wonder if there are more of them in Michigan. And when I got back, I looked up the Quakers in the phone book and found there was a nest of them here.